Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the Real Leel Show. Now, I hope I ain't lose my breath before I came on this show because what a fight that just took place. Vasily Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. Lopez being the first ever undisputed, 4 titles in the lightweight division. Dino, where's your mind at right now? Where's your mind? There's a lot to unpack, a lot.
This is a lot. This was a lot to take in. I was rooting for Lomachenko because I like what Lomachenko does for boxing. And, just the scorecards were, in my opinion, a little lopsided. So we got 116, 112, 119, 109, and 117, 111 for Lopez. I had a draw.
Same here.
Yeah, I had Lopez taking rounds 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 12. And I had Loma taking 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In round 7, looked like Loma was about to turn the tide. So that could have went either way. So was round 8, but I felt Loma won round 8. And I thought he won most of the later rounds besides round 12. So I really think that this fight was a lot closer than the scorecard showed. But, like you were saying, Loma, he started off like, okay, I get like a first couple rounds, you're feeling him out. Like
he started off way too late. His father gave him bad advice. All right, you talking about, be patient. You turning it up too late. Now you turning it up in the 7th round. You have to win every round now in order to win this fight.
Yep.
He could have came on a couple rounds earlier. The sense of urgency should have been there for Lomachenko.
And, he wasn't throwing enough in the first,
He wasn't.
First 5, 6 rounds. He really wasn't throwing enough. And, I noticed, the first round, I think it was, 2 punches he just threw. Not landed, threw. Or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But it was just, he got started off way too late, and he was just giving rounds to Teofimo Lopez because all Lopez was doing was just touching him and scoring. He wasn't going for the kill shot. He was just touching him. So those are all points right there, and he's winning rounds, being the aggressor, coming forward, just land the basic shots that's going to score you points. And that's what Lopez did most of the fight. Like I said, I really do think the scoring was a little bit too lopsided, but, am I surprised that, Lopez won? No. But I'm surprised that he won by the margin that he did.
I would say this, man. First of all, shout out to my boy Lopez from Brooklyn. Brooklyn represent in this building right now. You see the 718. I ain't going to say the rest of my number, but it does start with a 718. And that's all y'all need to know because ain't nobody going to be calling my phone tonight. All right? Ain't nobody going to be calling my phone tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, man, where do I start? First of all, I got to give both fighters the ultimate respect. This was a fight. It didn't start off that way. Lopez seemed like he was an experienced fighter. He was the one taking Loma to class. And I was saying to myself, I'm like, all right, Lomachenko normally starts fights late. He normally comes on late. So this is not out of the realm, right? And I'm saying, all right, when is he going to process? Because it's like Lomachenko, he reads you. He reads you like a computer. Processing Luke Campbell, process. Okay, I thought it was going to be one point in the fight where it was going to be like, process Lopez. And then he was going to come with the attacks and, have those round spurts that he normally have in the 6th, 7th round. And when he did try to have it in the 7th and 8th round, I was like, you saw Lopez shots that was a little bit more powerful early in the fight was starting to get a little weaker. And then that's when I thought he had him. But credit to Lopez because even in those rounds that I gave Lomachenko, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th, and the 11th, I felt that in a lot of those rounds towards the end, Lopez picked up the pace and showed me something at the end of that round that had me like, I don't know. I'm still going to give it to Loma because of how he started. But, I could see it go either way. What are your thoughts?
It was really like that with me. I noticed it the most in the 11th round. It was the 11th round Vasily started. It was the first, I want to say, minute and a half, 2 minutes that he started off really good. And then just Teofimo just turned the tide, and he started coming after him, landing good shots. And it was at the very end where I was like, I literally had my pen in my hand, and I was like, I had the L written, and I was like, I'm going to go Loma. But that 11th round really could have gone anyway. Same with the 7th when Loma was just starting to get started. But that's the thing, dude. You look at the 7th round was when Loma really started to get going.
He did.
He was already down 5-1. Give away 5 rounds to your opponent because all Teofimo's got to do is win 2, right? And we just
The
said
math
it was
becomes
7th to
simpler
8th,
now.
maybe not the
The
8th.
math becomes simpler. That's
Exactly.
exactly a good way to put it. The math becomes simpler. It's like, all right, I already won 5-1. I'm up 5-1. So now the odds is more in my favor because he can come and be aggressive and win, a couple rounds after that. But all I got to do is win 1 or 2 more.
You
Literally.
got the breathing room. And that's the thing, too, is like you don't know what the judges are thinking or how they're going to score it. They could, like, clearly they scored rounds that I probably had Lomachenko. They scored for Lopez. Like, those toss-up rounds, they can go either way. There's no clear-cut winner. Like, that's the thing. There's no, like, black and white in boxing. There's a lot of gray area that the judges pick and choose, and that's how they score fights.
Well, I got to talk about that scoring, man, because listen, even though I'm Brooklyn represent, I'm happy Teofimo Lopez came away with the victory. I'm an honest guy. I'm a pretty honest guy. 119 and 109 for that one judge. I don't know what kind of fight was he watching. Can somebody tell me what fight he was watching? Because it wasn't that fight. It wasn't that fight. 119 and 109, that ref need to be investigated.
That was bad.
He need to be investigated,
Yeah,
honestly. And this is coming from a guy
just
that's
like
happy.
in the Canelo. Just like in Canelo GGG1, they investigated that one judge that gave basically the whole fight to Canelo. They investigated that judge, I remember.
This one needs to be investigated too. I got to be real. I got to be real. 119, 109, nobody had it like that. Honestly, it's getting to the point where I feel like I could try to be a judge if I wanted to because I'm judging for my house and I'm doing a way better job than these cats are. Honestly.
I know. Yeah, no, me too. Like, I agree with you. Like, Andre Ward, he had it the same I think it was the same exact way I did.
Me too.
And it's just like I'm like we're not seeing this like different than anyone else. Like a lot of people, like Terrence Crawford also, he tweeted out after the fight, he said, "Draw for me. Let's see." Like people, it's not like we're just the ones seeing this. Like a lot of people are seeing this as well. Like don't get me wrong, like Teofimo deserved it. He's hungry, 23 years old, and he's the undisputed lightweight champion, the first one in history. That is incredible. He's a great work ethic. That's what I like about him a lot. And, America represent.
And a lot of people came out his skill. A lot of people was like, oh, he's this power puncher. When it gets down to the later rounds, he's going to start to be worried. And Lomachenko is going to take away his heart and put it on display in Ukraine. But the brother said, you know what? I'm going to show you I'm a skillful fighter. He literally boxed throughout the whole fight. Teofimo Lopez we used to see, we did not see at all in this fight. We saw a very skillful fighter that stood there and went blow for blow with Lomachenko. Literally, when Lomachenko came on in those rounds, 9 times out of 10, 99.99, when Lomachenko was like, target, so-and-so, it's over. There's nothing you can do. You see opponents quit all the time. And Lopez was, young as he is, was going to be like, listen, I actually want this. And that round 12 was one of the most impressive rounds I've seen in a long time from a guy in Lopez because it's like, Lomachenko is who Lomachenko is, and he's obviously found his rhythm offensively. So for you to sit there and put on a display, that right there, to be honest with you, is what made it a draw for me. And I wouldn't be mad if they gave it to Lopez. I just didn't like the way how they gave it to Lopez, which was obviously not how it went down.
No, I agree with that. And my thing is like, I didn't think that Lopez was going to like how people said, like quit or tire out in like the later rounds. But I just thought that Loma was going to step it up to a point where he was just going to start, winning rounds. But the thing was, like, in my eyes, like I had Loma winning those rounds, but it wasn't by like a wide margin, Like Lopez was, for the most part, most of those rounds, like in 7, 11, and 8 even you could throw in. I really think that like it could have gone either way. I just personally gave it to Loma because I thought he showed more in those rounds. But Lopez, he did really good, especially at negating Loma in like the early rounds too. Like he was just like, I just lost my train of thought because my computer went off.
What he was doing.
My bad. You cut that
out. Basically, I got you. Basically, what he was doing was he was pushing Lomachenko away. And I like the fact that the matter is, I like the fact that he listened to his trainer. So a lot of guys, when they get in the ring, once they get hit, all that game plan strategy is out the way. And with Lopez, I noticed when the father was like, hit him in the body, he hit him in the body. When the father was like, push him off, he told him in a round when Lomachenko was starting to gain a rhythm and come forward and be aggressive, he was like, all right, push him, generate some space.
It was after 7,
And that's exactly what he did. So he was definitely listening, and he wanted this fight.
And he attacked the body. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And he attacked the body right from the opening get-go. Right in round 1, he threw like jab, jab, straight, right to the body. point right there. That tires you out, dude. If you attack
Yeah.
the body, you attack the head.
But one thing I would say though, I would say that I thought he could have attacked the body just a little bit more later on in the fight when Lomachenko was coming forward. That's how you slow
Yeah, he
somebody down. So he,
started headhunting.
he was headhunting, but in that round 12, honestly, that was one of the more impressive rounds in the whole entire fight for Lopez right there. Even though he played a good strategy, he had a good strategy. But that 12th round, you really saw him literally, hurt Lomachenko a couple of times. There was a couple of times in the round where I believe it was one round. I forgot what round it was, but it was around in the middle of the fight where he caught him with a body shot that almost made Lomachenko go up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That almost made him go up.
Yeah, it was right on the belt line. I remember that.
And there was another round.
I don't think they counted that because they said it was low. But he especially in the 12th round, I think it was like a minute left or something. I forgot what he hit him with. It might have been an uppercut, but or a body shot. And he sort of like made Lomachenko wobble a little bit. I was like, holy crap! Like this dude he is coming for it. He didn't. I remember his dad was like, oh, it's a landslide. Like, you got it. We got this. But, like, he wasn't fighting like it was a landslide at 12 rounds. He was going to take his head off. That was
and you know what?
That shows heart, determination. That shows what kind of guy he is. He has that work ethic, and he has that mentality. He's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take this from you, Mr. 396-1 amateur, 14-1 or 14-2 now record professionally. He's like, I'm going to come take this for you. I'm not scared. And you know what? This is going to – hopefully this has a ripple effect on the rest of boxing. Because remember, like Floyd Mayweather, not knocking Floyd, terrific, great, but he was a great businessman. He was a great boxing businessman. He kept his belts. He took fights where he kind of knew that he really had a good chance of winning.
Wait a couple years out of the prime a couple times, yeah.
Out of the prime Pacquiao, get that out of the way.
A little out of the prime Sugar Shane Mosley a little bit.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And what's it called? And then now he didn't take big fights when they were coming out, Like when they were there, when him and Pacquiao were both in their primes, that fight was never there. And that's like the biggest thing with me with Floyd is like he never had that fight where it was like, okay, he's at the pinnacle of his game. He's the pinnacle of his game.
Exactly.
Let's go at it. These boys are at the pinnacle of both their games. They're going to go at it, and they're going to have a dogfight to have the undisputed lightweight champion. And I like that, and boxing needs more of that. No more of like the business. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, it's a way to make money. You're going to win. Floyd's a marketable guy. He knew what he was doing. He was a great champion. But that is like what I never saw to Floyd is what I saw tonight. And that is what I hope has ripple effects on the rest of boxing. And hopefully we'll get it with Fury and Joshua next year.
It will, because first of all, not only is this a fight where it's like, happening at this time, it's happening during a midst of a pandemic. There's no fans in the stand. So for these guys to say, listen, we're going to fight with no fans in the stands, that should send a precedent to the rest of boxing. You see now Terrence Crawford is trying to follow in those footsteps and fight Kell Brook. There was one point when the pandemic started where Crawford was being a diva saying, oh, I don't want to fight without no fans. Now he's seeing, all right, these guys stepped it up right now. So now there's a fight being made in November against Kell Brook. So I think this will send a precedent to the rest of the boxers out there that, listen, this fight's happening. This was a big fight. This was a big fight right here. But there's one more thing in this fight that I want to mention. Towards the end, I didn't like Teofimo Lopez's coach advice. Talking about we win in the fight when it was like the 11th round. At that time, the fight was already narrowed. All right. So had Lopez got that confidence from his dad, it was nonchalant. That could have caused him to fight. So I like the way how Lopez didn't listen to his father saying you win in the fight, because clearly it was a tie at that point, and he came out in that round 12 and took it from Lomachenko.
Because that's the biggest thing. I agree completely with what you said, because that's the biggest thing. You don't know what the judges are scoring. You don't know you've no idea. Like no idea. Me, you, Andre Ward, we all had that basically the same scorecard. So you never know what could have been on whose scorecard. At the end of the day, you never know.
I know a couple people who hit me up, told me they had a draw. I had a few people that had a draw.
Yeah, I had a couple people that said like 7-5 Lopez, like it was that close in my eyes. But I mean, I could see 116, 112. I could see that. But 117, 111, and 119, 109, I can't really see that too much. But like I said, I'm not knocking Teofimo Teofimo. That was an unbelievable performance, especially in the opening rounds. He just didn't let Lomachenko get started. He got started in the 7th round. The fight's halfway over. You threw.
Exactly.
I mean, he won the 2nd round. Everyone knows he won the 2nd round. Well, maybe not everybody, but from what I saw, he won the 2nd round. At 1 out of 6, he won. Like, that's not enough to get started. And I know he's a late starter, but at the same time,
you gotta feel the urgency right there.
you got it.
Had he come earlier,
he didn't. Yeah,
had he come along earlier, he would have won.
Early rounds.
He would have won if he came along earlier because when he came along, like I said in that stretch right there, around 7 to 11, Lopez couldn't really do much. He fought, he battled back, but he couldn't do much to stop it. You know, he couldn't stop that avalanche that is Lomachenko. So had he came out earlier with it, he could have won that fight. He could have won that fight. He could have won it. But my last question for you, before we depart is, so obviously Lopez made history tonight. On regular television, on ESPN, where does this rank? You know what I'm saying? Because we know about, upsets and on free TV, you see, I got my guy over here, Muhammad Ali, when he fought Sonny Liston, and he won being a huge underdog. Obviously, Lopez wasn't that huge of an underdog. Do you think that this was like, the biggest fight that could have been made on free television since that fight? Or if not, where does it rank?
I really can't think of any other ones that come to mind. I would say this is probably number 2, right behind Ali Liston. This is number 2, definitely. Dude, this is besides Wilder Fury 2, that's pay-per-view. Besides Wilder Fury 2, this has been the biggest fight all year. All right. I know we had months off because of the pandemic and all. But when we came back, we really didn't have many big fights that really happened in boxing, at least. UFC, there were a few. But in boxing, it was just Wilder Fury 2. Then this whole year, just, then became the Loma Lopez. And I think this has been maybe the bigger than Wilder Fury 2. I don't know how you put it. But in terms of free fights, I would say this is probably the 2nd biggest. But
I'm glad I was able to come up with the question.
This is the first unification bout for lightweights. It's tough.
Exactly.
First unified champion for lightweights. So I don't know. It's tough. It can go either way.
That's why I'm glad I was able to come up with the question, because I was like, all right, where am I? I know where I was trying to go, but it wasn't coming, and then it came to me. So I'm glad I was able to formulate it correctly. But definitely, when you think about this was the first ever unification, all the belts in the lightweight division, there is some added history to it. Because I know how people are going to say, oh, why you talking Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston? You know how people think. Don't go that far. But when you think about what this was for, all the marbles, it has some validity to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So this was a good fight, man. Listen, boxing fans got what they wanted, in the midst of a pandemic.
Tonight.
We got treated. Next week is Halloween. The week after is Halloween, trick or treat. We got treated today. We got our candies today.
And then on Halloween night, we also got Gervonta Davis fighting. And then next month, we got Terrence Crawford as well, man.
And Danny Garcia and Errol Spence.
Yep. Hopefully my tickets get resolved for, because I'm really trying to go to that. But it is looking like it's going to be a great end of the year. Maybe we'll get Fury fighting in December as well. I heard the whole Wilder talks are probably going to die down. They're not going to go that route. It's just a bunch of BS, in my opinion. But, if we can get Fury for one more fight this year, and pretty sure AJ's fighting in the beginning of December as well.
Pulev. He's fighting
Pulev. Yep, that's right. Yep, they're fighting in December. And then hopefully we'll just get right up and started into a roaring 2021. But, hey, back on the fans note, though, I remember, early in the pandemic, you said Crawford was saying, oh, if there's no fans, I don't want to fight. But look, bro, you can go to the bubble out in Vegas, go to Texas, go to Florida. There's plenty of states in the South that are allowing fans back in arenas and stadiums. So, look, those are options right there. I know Gervonta Davis, I think the fight was supposed to be in the bubble, right, in Vegas, but they moved it to San Antonio so they could have some fans in the arena.
Yeah, exactly.
So, look,
there's options.
There's options. It's a good way to do it.
Definitely. But, man, it was a pleasure having you on today to recap this fight, man. And, listen, like I said, we boxing fans got treated today to a great fight. I need everybody to subscribe to the channel, Leel TV, and like the video and share the video with a lot of boxing fans who may have not seen this fight or who saw it but want some reactions. Share it with your friends. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is another episode of the Real Leel Show. I'm Real Leel, joined by Dino here. And to the next fight, Dino. To the next fight.
Hey, thank you for having me, bro. I really appreciate it, and it's always a pleasure talking about the sweet science.
Yes, sir.